This is my country. This is my city. Don't let me see your face again.
Bully running everything now. Head south, man.
You're a very beautiful lady.
What's this?
It's a job.
Welcome everybody to another Native Thoughts review, this time again for a movie. Let me just give you the quick synopsis for this. It is a mom trying to save her house, past town house from her, I believe her mom and grandmother, trying to save her house in this almost apocalyptic type of feeling environment in which it resembles a lot of Detroit and also like a little bit of New Orleans. And also she had two sons, one's a baby, I believe probably 3 years old. Then she has a teenager son in which he is also out of town. He goes into the town and tries to steal coppers to save money to pay for the bill and to also try to save money for the car so he could finish building off his really rusty old car that he has. Okay, that is one of the synopsis because at least a plot detail, because one of the biggest problem I had with this film, and by the way everybody, one of the biggest problem I had for this film was that you're scratching your head to the end of the day thinking, what in the hell is this all about? You're watching the movie and you're just thinking to yourself, what is the movie about? Is there any substance? Is there any is all substance and it's all about style? And then one thing, it's hard to even tell you to give away anything because there really has no more to it. You know, that's the simple plot, and it's all about style. It's all about design, the background, location. And sometimes some of those movies do work, and sometimes some movies just they build their own environment in which they are, which create a cult following for films. Another thing is that it is a feeling of apocalyptic. It's like an apocalyptic feeling, but you also have it under as a fairy tale, which comes as odd because it's not really a fairy tale. It's just, the movie's called Lost River because it's a river and you see street lights coming out from the river, and supposedly there's a town there, and that really comes across the movie later on, but not so much. You know, it's mostly about them trying to make it out, not make it out of the city, try and stay in where they live at, but in the end they have no choice but to leave is the best way. I don't know, it's one of the movies where the actors are okay, but the actors act weird, and it's one of the movies where the camera just focuses on them and they're just glazing off, and there's sunlight back in the background. They're walking in the forest or walking in the Florence type of feeling, and it's one movie that's hard to explain because it does not know what it wants to be, in which it wants to be a style, it wants to be a substance, it wants to be a subtext message movie. I really had a problem with this. I was watching the movie and I was just bored out of my mind. It was one movie where I feel like a lot of people would love it, would give it so much love, and I honestly believe that if you do, that's okay, but if you really pay attention, it's really hard to follow because it has a lot of futuristic feeling to it and apocalyptic feeling to it, but also it has some really gory horror stuff, and a weird sense of humor. It just doesn't. It's not like it's trying so hard to be weird, because the film could be long, but it's just the pacing and the cinematography that really cuts it off, because cinematography feels a lot like Spring Breakers, feels a lot like It Follows, feels a lot like those movies, like a lot of Lars von Trier movies and a lot of Nicholas Weldon Refn movies. And believe it or not, this is directed by Ryan Gosling, who worked on the last two films by Nicholas, and it's a lot of that, like just that drive and Only God Forgives. It's in that vein of Only God Forgives, in which you see it and you realize that it is just something else, and it feels like it's all a dream. It feels like a movie that is a dream, and it feels like the director had the dream and he put it on film, and it just when you have those type of movies, sometimes they don't work. If the whole film's like a dream, and it just feels like it's out of style, out of subtext, it just feels weird. I mean, I just had the biggest problem with the movie. I'm on the verge of putting on the worst stuff because it's not bad. It's just not great, and it's not good. It's just bland. It's boring. It's really forgettable. I feel like it's gonna be one of those movies where Gosling has his name attached to it, and people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he fucking did direct that movie." And it just feels like I sometimes feel like it's not always, but sometimes it has worked. It's not always the best for actors to direct. It's not always the best thing, but it has worked in a lot of actors who have directed. Look at Ben Affleck. It has worked. But then you have a lot of actors who direct, and usually they're always directing some cheesy Lifetime movies or direct-to-DVD movie, and they could still be renowned great actors. And that's one of the biggest problem I really had, is just that it's all style, it's all substance. Think of Drive, and Only God Forgives. And with Drive, it has that heavy sense and that heavy feeling of this character that looks like it's gonna snap. And you have the blood scene and the action for Only God Forgives into this really almost like a drama movie, and just feels weird. The actors are okay. Ben Mendelsohn, that's how you say his name, great actor. I think he was okay in this. I wouldn't say that actor has his own sense of style that it works, and I think he was great in this. He was okay in this. Eva Mendes was it felt like a cameo, a long cameo. Matt Smith, Doctor Who, the former Doctor Who, is okay, but he's weird. He's like this bully type of guy. He runs the town like a warrior type, and just it's one of the movies that it's hard to even talk about, because I'm thinking about it and I'm dreading it the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm talking about it, because I have forgot about it, but it just feels weird all throughout. Well, everybody, that is Native Thoughts. It's a really short review for this one, and I don't know. It's just one movie where I wouldn't recommend it, but see it if you're a fan of this type of movie where it's all substance and style, like Spring Breaker, Drive, Only God Forgives, Lars von Trier movies, Nymphomaniac, Melancholy or whatever, Melancholia. And this is one movie where it's just see it at your risk, but realize that a lot of people are warning you, because people are giving shit for Ryan Gosling for this movie, because it's not a great movie. You could have done so much better. Maybe this whole style, this whole story could have been great with a different style and different, I don't know. Well, everybody, that's the Native Dog review. I hope you have a good night. You could listen to this audio on SoundCloud, and you could watch the same audio on YouTube as a video. Hope you guys have a good night.